A compact car with a lifespan of well over 200,000 miles is the Subaru Impreza, which is offered as a sedan or a hatchback. It was undoubtedly Subaru's most well-known vehicle when it was introduced in the early 1990s. In this short video, we will talk about the most common problems of the fourth generation of Subaru Impreza. And just before we start, please make sure you've subscribed to the channel. CVT issues. Although the majority of Subaru vehicles are very reliable, some more recent models have had transmission issues. With the Impreza, common transmission problems include slipping, overheating, stalling, and trouble controlling engine speed. In 2014, Subaru switched almost all of its models over to Linitronic, a continuously variable transmission. Instead of using gears, this device uses pulleys to control engine speed. Therefore, if you have a recent model Impreza, it is safe to assume that you are operating a CVT. As it ages, the transmission begins to stall, growl, and run erratically. What you can do to lessen these issues is as follows. Growling sound. If the engine sputters while you accelerate, your CVT's pulleys are probably broken. Stalling. Use a CVT-friendly fluid or replace the thrust washer to avoid this problem. Engine speed fluctuations. You will need to replace a solenoid of your transmission. Fuel pump problems. When you decide to get in your car and it won't start, it is always frustrating. Unfortunately, the 2019 Subaru Impreza has a history of having this problem. Owners who have experienced this issue frequently also report their engine running erratically and stalling in the middle of the road. The vehicle's fuel delivery system is where all of these issues have their origin. Denso fuel pumps are standard equipment for the Subaru Impreza. The impellers on these fuel pumps have a manufacturing flaw that causes them to deform over time. The engine is unable to operate properly because of this deformation, which affects the fuel pump's capacity to pump. Subaru issued a recall for the 2019 Impreza to replace these fuel pumps with more dense pumps that are less likely to deform. If your car was exempt from the recall, replacing the pump will cost you about $800. Underpowered brakes. Many Impreza owners from 2011 to 2015 believe that the brakes are underpowered for the car. They have mentioned unusually long braking distances and sluggish brake pedal response. The brakes are the most important aspect of an automobile's safety. Brakes give you the ability to instantly slow down or stop, which can help avoid serious accidents. When you need your brakes the most, poorly maintained and infrequently tested brakes could fail you. We advise using premium braking fluid to enhance fluid response. Replace the brake kits on each side of the car if you feel that the brakes are also underpowered. A complete set of high-quality brakes costs about $1,200. Given the importance of braking systems to the driver's safety, we advise taking these precautions. You will be compromising on your life if you compromise on these things. Rusted brake lines. All automobiles are prone to rust, but the automaker must make sure that rust or corrosion won't affect the vital parts of the vehicle. Unfortunately, the Subaru Impreza is not one of those vehicles. It has been reported that the Impreza's brake lines, particularly those manufactured between 2013 and 2015, leak fluid as a result of rust damage. Road salt is typically the primary cause of rust in automobiles. The fuel tank protector on the Impreza has a hole in it that lets road salt get to the brake lines. To fix this issue, Subaru issued a recall for the 2009 Impreza. They applied an anti-corrosive wax to the brake lines. An auto shop will charge you about $200 to coat the brake lines. Although all cars rust, we also advise routinely washing your car, especially from the underside, if you want to slow down the rusting process. The area of your car that is most exposed to road salt is the underside, and it is from here that salt enters vital parts of your car. Infotainment System. Customers have never generally been pleased with Subaru's infotainment features, so the company made a conscious effort to change that perception when it introduced Starlink for some 2016 models. However, there have been reports of glitches with the Starlink infotainment system. This device found in some Subaru vehicles have proven to be so troublesome that a lawsuit has been brought against the manufacturer. The Starlink issues include screens that would abruptly go black and frozen backup cameras. Numerous software updates have been released by Subaru to address these issues, but none of them have been successful. If you are experiencing these problems, you can wait for Subaru to find a solution, which will take some time. However, if these bugs are truly bothering you, you can choose to replace the head unit, which will set you back a hefty $1,000. Oil consumption. Subaru has assured the owners that topping the oil before changing it is normal, and that losing a third of their oil every 12 miles is within specifications. Some drivers have even stated that their Impreza burned more than a third of the oil every 1,000 miles, even though this shouldn't be the case. The models from 2012 to 2013 are known to use the most oil. The engine's oil rings, pistons, and valves are terribly misaligned, which is the cause of the problem. These parts allow oil to leak through them and into the combustion chamber, where it burns. This harms not only your engine but also the environment when the burned particles are released. Subaru has agreed to increase the engine warranty to 8 years and replace the engine block as a result of the issue. Unfortunately, the majority of the models that had this problem are no longer covered by warranties, so you will need to replace the piston rings, which can cost up to $5,000. EyeSight issues. In 2013, Subaru unveiled its EyeSight driver assistance system, which performed 3 key functions: automatic reversing braking, pre-collision braking, and lane keeping assistance. Sadly, this system has not performed as Subaru claimed and has shown issues in all models made after 2013. Numerous issues have been caused by improper software calibration in the vehicle's various control modules. Owners of Subaru equipped with an AEB braking system have noticed that the brakes frequently engage in the absence of an obstruction. On the other hand, when there is an obstruction, the automatic emergency braking does not activate on its own. Due to these errors, the car might need to adjust its steering when a driver tries to change lanes. If there are problems with the LKA system, the vehicle may completely shut down, requiring the driver to restart it. Some of the issues have been resolved by software updates that Subaru has released, but the majority of them are still present. Unintended acceleration. The 2012 Subaru Impreza handles well on the road thanks to its responsive steering and odd CVT. As the miles add up, though, some units might accelerate unexpectedly. Of all the Impreza models, the 2012 model has the highest likelihood of having problems with an abrupt acceleration. The Impreza begins to experience this issue with rapid acceleration after 40,000 miles have passed. Owners have reported abrupt speed increases while idling or traveling at slow speeds. Their car suddenly starts to move forward and the engine starts to rev loudly. Numerous of these motorists were fortunate enough to stop their vehicles in time and prevent terrible collisions. Despite numerous complaints, Subaru still needs to acknowledge the seriousness of this issue. No conclusive answer has also been discovered. We can only advise you to deal with this situation as calmly and quickly as you can if it ever arises. Put the car in neutral, apply the brakes, and turn off the engine. Soy wiring problems. All businesses are seeking environmentally friendly solutions in a time when we are facing an environmental crisis. Particularly Subaru, which prides itself on being the first zero-landfill automaker in the US, takes great pride in being environmentally friendly. They have switched to an environmentally friendly, biodegradable soy-based wire coating. The soy-based coatings, however, have turned into a chew toy for rodents, who use them to construct their nests, suggesting that this step may have made them too environmentally friendly. This is a problem that is not limited to Subaru vehicles. The soy-based wirings used by many automakers are also having problems. These manufacturers have resisted calling this issue a problem despite numerous complaints. To address this issue, numerous lawsuits have been brought, but no real progress has been made. Faulty brake switch. There have been numerous reports of the brake lights on Imprezas not working properly. Sometimes the brake light wouldn't turn on, and other times it would blink before you even applied the brakes. You already know how dangerous this is to your safety. From 2008 to 2016, Impreza models have had this problem. Subaru claims that some cleaning agents end up harming the brake switch. These goods impair the brake switch circuit's conductivity, which causes it to malfunction. A faulty brake switch not only affects the brake lights, but also the transmission interlock, EyeSight, anti-lock brakes, etc. For these models, Subaru has issued a recall to replace the brake switch. Technical service bulletins can be helpful if your Impreza was not included in the recall but is having brake switch problems. This flaw is addressed in the Brake Light Switch Service Bulletin TSB 65516R. Subaru has developed a new brake switch that costs about $120 to address this issue. Weakened suspension. You need to exercise caution when looking to purchase used cars in many ways. If you are considering purchasing a Subaru Impreza that is more than 5 years old, pay close attention to the suspension. Because of the weak brakes, the suspension sustains significant wear over time. When purchasing the vehicle, be sure to test the suspension on rocky, uneven roads. On rocky roads, listen for clicking noises. They are an indication that your car's velocity joints aren't working properly. The front suspension system needs to be changed if the ride is too bumpy. Due to a manufacturing flaw, Impreza's suspensions are prone to premature wear. Owners have complained that the suspension's build quality is subpar. Velocity joint replacement will only set you back about $100, but replacing the front suspension system will run you about $400. The worst year for Subaru Impreza. The Subaru Impreza is renowned for handling like a sports car and offering a smooth ride for both the driver and passengers. However, we advise avoiding some of the models if you plan to purchase this car. Particularly the 2012 model, the Subaru Impreza's 4th generation is plagued by numerous issues. This model has undergone 6 recalls because of problems that were both costly and relatively serious. The transmission, oil consumption, airbags, brakes, and suspension were all problematic. Owners of this model made numerous trips to the auto shop and spent a significant amount of money attempting to fix the issues. If you decide to choose the Impreza, we advise selecting one of the most recent 2022 models from the 5th generation. As you may have inferred from this video, Subaru pays close attention to customer feedback and makes every effort to address any problems that have been raised.